Beyond all expectations, Europe's pet deck, Rika Sun Avalon, locks down another YCS. What happened to that top representation? The crazy numbers of tier elements? Well, let's find out. You guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oscar. We'll be looking at top 4 here. I really wish we had a top 32, a top 16, and a top 8 to analyze, but for whatever reason, they just didn't post that info for us to look at, which is quite disappointing, actually, because this top cut, you know, pre this format would have been absolutely interesting to have the data for, but Konami Europe just punted the ball and they're like, nobody cares. I cared, and so did so many other people. But all of our tier elements, from what I was told, got eliminated in the top 8, which means that's a wrap, everybody. There's none left. Your top 4 was probably by far one of the most diverse top cuts that we've seen in a very long time. You had Rika, Vanquish Soul, Unchained, and Branded. And there was a joke going around before we saw this top 4. A few people were like, oh my gosh, it's 1 Vanquish Soul versus 3 Flandries, and that wasn't the case whatsoever. But your top cut for top 4, considering the numbers that we'd seen all weekend in the crazy representation turnover, I'm genuinely surprised. Now, many of you saw the grand finals out here, which ended up being Vanquish Soul, of all things, versus Rika. And I've already heard people going, well, you know, Vanquish Soul's still not a very good deck. I still don't think the Rika is crazy good either. And on that very same, you know, wavelength on the other side of the brain cell, we have people arguing for Loki, Link 1 Dryas to be banned. I still don't think we need to add anything in the deck, but, you know, it's a proven fact at this point in time that if a deck wins an event, Yu-Gi-Oh! Players are going to cry for it to be banned, and I don't actually understand that mentality. But nonetheless, congratulations, Rika. You got the chance to take down another event. And I actually think it's quite spectacular. It's a lot better than a lot of the other things that we could have had here. Now let's pass on over to all those deck lists. Our event here was Rika Sun Avalon, and you know, this honestly doesn't look too bad for a list. You know, 45 cards has been fine with this. Also, I have a bone to pick with this card. This card is so amazing. Shout out to the Spiritual Water Art Owie. Anytime Owie is involved, you know there's going to be something stupid, typically, with the little hand rips and things you can do. Forbidden Droplet, writing a front seat back to the format here as well. Can't wait to see people finally be able to, you know, see this card back. And hi, Cattycorn, how are you? You know, I'm glad to see you. I see we also cited some going second options down here as well. That's kind of cute. And then we also had a Kaiju in the main deck. Well, that's something you don't tend to see a lot of. Cool thing is it is a water monster, so little interactions that you can do. But for this deck to kind of be the monster on the top of the meta, I'm going to clap for it yet again. This is exciting stuff, you know, even if you're not a fan of the plant deck. Next up is Vanquish Soul. Hey, stake your soul. Finally, we're back to TC Boo, the way that the deck should be played. I also love the fact, you know, with the loss of, you know, a Rise Heart, they're still playing the Rise Heart because, I mean, it gives you something else to search. It is still technically another level 7 that you can just drop on the field and you're like, all right, cool. Also, you know, free level 4 as well, or, you know, technically a level 7 if you need, but I mean, you're locking yourself into Exceed if you're doing that. And, you know, our rank 7 category down here doesn't exactly exist, so something to keep in mind. The very heavy hand trap board here as well. Book kind of getting tossed to the side deck for this format, which doesn't, I mean, people are still playing it. They want to make sure that they have access to this card because, what do I need to tell you? Book is an insane card, even now. It's just, sometimes Forbidden Droplet feels like it gets about 9,000 more miles out of board breaking. All right. Oh, we have some tier elements in our lives here. I've also loved the fact that tier has gone to making Dangerous Sky here as well. With the little Denier and the little Malicious package that's kind of getting splashed in here more so often or not. Okay, I see that we're on double tack talents, and this build actually is playing a card destruction. You know what? I think this is probably one of the only decks that could afford to play card destruction now. You know, at least Dark World, you know, if your opponent sees a card destruction, they're going to crap their pants. But if this deck just happens to roll on into this, you know, you have so many worthless cards. I mean, you know, you can even trigger these stupid things here. Also, shout out to the triple Jerusalem here, being able to use these as, stop stones to anything that the opponent might actually be trying to do. And of course, there's Change of Heart, back at it again. We've seen this card kind of be MVP at the weekend for quite a lot of people. Outside of that, there's going to be a lot more to hear this video, trust me on that. Alright, we have a Dragon Link list here for you, and once again you see that triple Book of Eclipse doing its thing. Y'all remember when people said that Chaos Space going to 1 was going to be the end of this deck? No. This Magna Hut going has not stopped this deck whatsoever. Did it lose a lot of the free advantage that it could just spin out of nowhere? I mean, yeah, but it feels a lot more balanced at this point in time, and you can usually tend to think the Boral and Dragon down here for being one of the more troublesome things. Also, Black Metal Dragon just literally being the starter for this deck. So I am happy to see that we have kind of returned back to how crazy this is. Jerusalem has now gotten so much more value. Alright, like a hand trap on a 2500 that can immediately spot removal something else as well. Yeah, that's everything that you want in a type of power Yu-Gi-Oh card to make sure that, oh no, something's going wrong in the format. I wonder if this will be the next one we see go to 1. Alrighty, we have Branded Chimera with a Light Hex Seal Fusion down here. So yeah, we're playing the illusion stuff, capitalizing on the advantage. Though 47 cards, that's a lot to be cramming into this. But it did work out for the event. I mean, you're also subbing in like an Aluber to make sure that you can get to the Branded Fusion. That way you can kind of floor it to make sure that you can do your thing. That is Retaliating Sea down here in the side deck. As remember, your opponent activates a spell card that includes an effect, special summon. Hi, Purelees. Alright, this little guy gets to really anger the opponent. That's the entire purpose of his life. Alright, outside of that, I'm glad to see that we are playing one actual polymerization. We're not doing any of the King of the Swamp shenanigans that you could kind of do, but I mean, this does make our little friend Guardian Chimera way more of a threat. You'll never truly underestimate how stupid a Chimera backed up with its polymerization effect can actually be. Alright, what else we got going on back here? Hey, it's Unchained. Jesse did make top 16. I know a lot of people were hoping to see, the dub be pulled home, but Jesse was actually kind of prepared down here for the little fun Rika Sun Avalon interactions, because believe it or not, turning all the plants into zombies actually is a hard counter to the deck. I know that's such a weird thing to say out here that, we could be pulling in this little fun line here, but it works. This is a lot of the ways that localized players, if they see a lot of Rika, will kind of counter the meta. And is it easy to do? I mean, it depends. Depends how much that you're planning on playing against. But I like the current lines of play that Jesse's kind of evolved the deck into. A lot of it's going to come down to the optimization in the side deck. Same thing here with the metaverse to, see said zombie world to make sure that you can make sure that plant player is not having a good time. We have some more tier elements. It's so cool to see Hell Shadal Hollow actually getting some mileage down here. Now I also see that we are playing the Impulse and the Attacker package in the side deck. And this was something that we kind of saw pop up very early on in this deck. It's kind of like a meme. I've seen a couple of videos like, oh my gosh, I played, the Rescue Ace Tier Elements deck, but then it kind of disappeared. And this is the first time we've seen this package actually returning back to the playing field. And once again, I see that somebody else back here did not want to deal with anything that Rika Sun Avalon was trying to do. I'm telling you, Zombie World's a pretty good card. And I see that we are playing the old Scattershot down here for time. Just mill it off, 5-head. That's really all you need to do. Outside of that, the hero package really is going the mile for this event. And then, of course, it looks like everybody's just citing the one crime at this point in time. Okay, what else we got going on back here? We're playing more Unchained, but this time we have an Unchained Shyama in here. You can target one card you control, destroy it, and then you can destroy one spell and trap card on the field. And if this card is in your grave, you can target one Fiend monster or one face-down card you control, destroy it. And you do special summon this card, but place it on the bottom of the deck when it leaves the field. So what you're telling me is we have a monster that wants to start reviving itself from the graveyard that can then trigger my Tier Elements effects, or, trigger some additional mills. I don't think a lot of people have considered this card. Also, it's a water monster, so, you get the little extra added benefit of that. But this is a cute little tech choice, actually. And especially as a one-of, it does kind of prove, how crazy the innovation lines for tier have actually gotten at this point in time. If they're looking at something like Shayama, and they're going, hey, we can go ahead and combo off with this. And we have another Necroworld Banshee with the Zombie World. Okay. And then we also have a Vanquish Soul list back here playing, you guessed it, the super heavy samurai stuff. Now, we'd seen this come out of, a Texas regional, I believe, in the very early stages of the format as well, and it kind of just disappeared, but this showed back up again. A lot of those past innovation lines that we saw on the regional level came out to really shine this weekend, and that is actually really cool. All right, this format is so innovative. Also, this little package, I don't know the full crazy combo line that you get with this, but it does set up some pretty scary boards. It basically turns this package into a way more like negation combo heavy build versus a lot of the other things. So that's everything that we have for this event. I know that's a lot to take in for the last YCS before Age of Overlord, technically, that we care about. But please, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out.
Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.